Hi friends, and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to play with my new Natasha Denona Zendo eyeshadow palette that I just got in the mail, and I even haven't swatched yet. So I just took some photos for my Insta, but I also have new brushes that I want to test today. So those are from BK Beauty. So I purchased the brush 203, which is the shader brush. Then I got the 206, like a shader but also for the blending. The famous 201, that is your crease brush, and oh my god, they are so soft. And the pencil brush 207. And I'm really excited to play with them. I'm really happy that I was able to support Lisa J, because she's the owner of the BK Beauty. I feel lucky that I was able to support her small business. Okay, let's go ahead. I already applied my base. I'm wearing actually a foundation that I just request some testers from Sephora. So I requested the new Fenty Beauty Tint Skin foundation. I requested 2 shades, so I got the shade number 3 and number 5. I don't know why I'm showing to you, because anyway you cannot see. Maybe, yeah, maybe I can show you how they look like. This is number 5 and I'm wearing it today, and number 3, which I've already worn on Monday, it's a bit lighter. But what I wanted to tell you guys, that today I've applied my Fenty Beauty foundation with the BK Beauty brush 101. There is a whole lot of difference. When I applied my foundation Monday, I used a regular beauty blender, but applying it with a brush, it's a whole lot business. So I'm really loving the coverage that I got using this brush. I think it's fantastic. I think I'm going to order a couple more of those brushes, because this is me. When I get some obsession with a product, I buy them in bunch. You remember me and my passion for the Zoeva 228 brush. So yeah, I think I have a new obsession for foundation brushes. And for my face makeup, bronzer, contour and blush, I'm wearing the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Edit Mini Sculpture palette. And on my lips, I have the Drawer Cosmetics lip liner in the shade Bel Air and the YSL Rouge Volupte Shine lipstick. I didn't know exactly which look I'm going to come up with, so I thought this lipstick, this shade, it's universally flattering. I don't have time to film more looks today, so I'm going to do one single look, and I will come back by the end of the video with my final thoughts, which also will be the first impression regarding the new Zendo eyeshadow palette, but also how I feel about the BK Beauty eye brushes. Before we are starting, I want to tell you that I have applied my eyeshadow base. I'm using the NYX eyeshadow primer, and I was feeling that there is not a shade in this palette to set my concealer like I like, so I used this shade from the BK Beauty that is called Beam, and is like my skin tone. But yeah guys, this is the final look. And I kinda like it. I'm not happy with the way my hair looks even after I wash it, but there is a hope because I think I'm going to have a vacation in Romania this summer, so I'm going to visit my favorite hairstylist and do something with my hair. Now, I know there are some controversial opinions about this new Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette. So, first I took some swatches. I also went outside and took some footage in natural light. So I would say the swatches are okay. I think the only shade that is not really visible is this matte minty shade that is called, let me tell you, Breathe. But because it's a subtle, this is the tone of the color, and that color I actually use it on my inner corner. But then I went with the shade Flow and top it because I thought that is not so visible. So I used the shades Relief, Vigor, and then I used the shade Mindful to deepen up my outer V, and for my lid I used the shade Luster, mostly on the most part of the lid. And yeah, a little bit of the Mindful just to define the outer V. On lower lash I used the shade Relief that I used on the crease, and then I have added the shade Mantra, which is this dark green. Actually this shade is really good. And on the inner corner I came back with the shade Flow. You don't see that on the footage because I did outside camera. So what are my thoughts or my first impression when I first seen the packaging of this palette? So yeah, please excuse the fingerprints. It reminds me awfully about her other two eyeshadow palettes that I have on the similar shade. So this is the Sunrise eyeshadow palette that I actually bought it first. This is my first Natasha Denona palette, and this is her bronze palette. So this was released last year during summer. So I know people are saying that it's not such a big deal. I think the quality of the shadows after I swatched everything, it's similar. It's not even better or worse that we are already used to get on her previous midi palettes. I'm not going to spend too much time reviewing this palette because I have in mind other type of content that it will involve this palette. So she's more darker. I'm not sure how to keep them all just to see. If I put them side by side, she is more darker than her bronze and her Sunrise sister. But yeah, I have all her 5 midi palettes. I wanted to get it because I have the entire collection. I don't have any of her $130 pan price. But those I find them more affordable, and I was actually bummed because her previous palettes, the Circle Loco and another one which I cannot recall now, they were on that high price range that not that I don't afford, I cannot afford, I can afford to pay, but I cannot justify paying that much money for one single palette. Maybe I will get in the future. Overall, what is my complaint about this eyeshadow palette, at least for my skin tone? So you have quite nice transition shades. So you have the Calm, Relief and the Balance. They are all placed on the middle row, and you can even use the Breathe for a minty transition for different looks. I didn't want for that look, but what I can say is that I don't have a really matte and skin tone color like I have in the BK Beauty eyeshadow palette. But yeah, this is neutral palette, so it contains that shade. So I have used this shade for today's look. And also I don't have a more shimmery champagne pop type of color to add that pop on my inner corner. Hence I have used the shade Flow for that purpose, and also to define the brow bone. So those are my complaints, but just take them with a grain of salt because those are minor observations. This is my point of view related to this eyeshadow palette. But I feel that you can do both neutral, so you have your neutral kind of rosy type of looks if you use those shades, and here you have more colorful, more green and slightly blue shades. So it's something which I'm really happy to see on her eyeshadow palette, or at least on the midi eyeshadow palette, because I don't have her bigger palettes that have more shades like this. So for me, this palette, it's a win. I wanted to get it since I've seen her first photo, her first spoiler. I wanted to get this palette. And yeah, because my friend Tracy, she asked me if I do a review. She asked me specially to do a swatch for her. Yes, this swatch, this pink shade on the middle, this is for Tracy from the Little Makeup channel. So she was interested to see how this swatches. Tracy, this shade, this swatch is especially for you, and I have used that shade on my transition. I love it. It's one of the best transition shades from this palette, so love it. Now let me briefly speak about my new BK Beauty eyeshadow brushes. So I love the 201. I use it to define my transition, so I think it makes blending your transition shade effortlessly, so love it. Then I love the 206. I think I'm going to use more this brush to blend the concentrated area, like in the crease. But my favorite is probably the 207, the pencil brush. So this is perfect to hit that inner corner, outer V, and blend perfectly the shades there. So it was a really good help. And I've also used it, I didn't show you, it was out camera, to smudge under my lower lash line. I used the pink shade, and then I have used the 207 to pack my shimmery shade on the lid, and I also use it on my lower lash line with the green shade. I'm going to get probably a set, but for the moment I wanted just to get some of her more famous brushes, because I wanted to try them from a long time, and I was feeling that those are the brushes that I mostly need. I am on a budget, to say like this, and yeah, I thought that it's a good opportunity to try what I can afford at that moment. I'm a brushaholic, to say like this. I love my ref brushes, I love the BK Beauty brushes, so yeah, don't get me wrong, I love tools and I love brushes and I love eyeshadow palettes and I love makeup. Yeah, let's put it that straight. If you haven't noticed till now, and if you are watching my channel wondering what I'm doing here, yes, I love makeup. That's the purpose of my channel, to share the love, the passion for makeup with you, my lovely friends. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know please let me know down on the comment section if you have got the new Natasha Denona eyeshadow palette and what are your thoughts about it. And if you are not subscribed to my channel and you enjoyed this kind of content, I would really love to have you in my family. Other than that, I hope you all have a fantastic day. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch, and I'm gonna see you again on my next video. Bye guys! Okay.